Hello, everybody. My name is Radim Roška. I am from Altepro Solutions, and we are integrator based in Prague. And today I will be talking about how we build a source of truth again, and at least 3 times. It was more, but let's say 3. And of course, in these 10 minutes, I will share just the essence of the project. Yeah, nothing else can fit in. So it was a production project. It is the Czech Radio Communications, CRA for short. It's a Czech service and infrastructure provider. They are having broadcast towers. They have lots of services. They have data centers. They have WAN networks. And what was our stage was the data center project. We started with the legacy services, various mixed services where there was no service catalog. The knowledge of the network was in the configuration and in people's mind. And we had to get that into a situation where we was building a modern EVPN-based fabric with explicit service model with a SOT, right? As we are speaking about that on a daily basis here. And of course, it has to be automated from day one. And everything was supposed to be driven by CI. It was based on Arista switches with management, but this is not about the fabric. Of course, it is about our journey, how we get from left to right. It was the time when the lead times were like a year, right? I guess you remember that time. Maybe it will come back again. But it seems like, OK, there's a problem. But it's not a problem. It is a rare opportunity for us, for the automation guys, because we were able to build an automation before the network itself existed. Right? We had amazing tools. It was the Arista AVD, which you've heard yesterday from Rode Schwartz, and Container Lab, well, which you hear every day. And with those tools, we were able to build a dual data center fabric and make it running in a few days. OK, so we thought, maybe AVD will do all the work for us. Right? Well, it didn't, obviously, because that's why I'm here. But it was a great start. But the fabric is the easy thing, right? What matters and what is the challenge are the services. So for services, this is a brownfield network, right? So the customer CRA had lots of services, lots of various services, not very standardized. And we had to define those standards. We have to name them. We have to find exactly what are the discrete number of services, basically, what variables we need for each of those, create the models, the scheme that would be valid, not just now, but also for the future. With that in mind, then, and that was the most difficult work for the CRA team, or one of the challenges. They had to discover what they have in the network, right, and self-filling it into this migration workbench. And once we had that, we were able to start migrating. And that means we had a Python script, right, which we called migrator, how else? And that took always part of the Excel, just several rows, and migrated that into CRA SOT. And then, of course, into the network. Right? So that's the 3-stage approach. And we thought, OK, perfect. So we are there. But not really. Yeah? The model, the AVD model, which we were using till then, fought back. In CRA, the services have a global identity. But VLAN to VNI mapping is pod local. Right? You can see on the right side, that's the snapshot of the SOT. And we defined the pods and different VLAN IDs for one VNI, for one service. And this is something which is not supported by AVD. Right? So we thought, so what to do with it? Well, of course, we tried different approaches, but eventually what won was to define and build an abstraction on top of it. Right? So we call it CRA SOT. And this abstraction included everything we needed, right? Those extra variables like that allowed us to be happy and the services to work. And for that, we needed, of course, another Python script, which was translator. By the way, it was without AI in that time, right? So it was a bit more challenging than that. But so that's it, right? So we have a CRA SOT, and since then, the users are not thinking or not working with AVD that much. Or, of course, they are, but what really matters for them is the CRA SOT. And that was the phase 1. That was how we make the migration safe. Second phase, or second part of the job, was how to make the operation safe. And for that, we have, of course, the SOT, right, on the left side, that's where the operators I said are working with. That's the intent of the service. That's the intent state. They do some changes, and they push it to the pipeline, to the Git. The pipeline then does what is expected. It does the validation, it translates it into the AVD model, it builds the intended configuration, and then deploys it through the Cloud Vision and its change control procedure into the fabric. Right? The operator, the network engineer, they care about the SOT and then about the outcome. And if everything is working fine, they don't care about the pipeline at all. So they don't need to know, right? Just few of them need. And of course, we also built tooling around that. That's the editor, right? That knows all the use cases, all the service types, and has rich logic inside that helps the users work with the SOT. Then there is a validator that validates that the SOT and any change that we do is valid and doesn't break something. And then there is Finder, right? Finder is it's not a simple grep. It has logic behind, which is rather complex, and it's very helpful from what we've heard. We asked the guys for a feedback, and they told us, within a year, there was only once a problem with the validation, and that was an extra white space in a description field. Well, that's not a big deal, right? So it seems like the validation is doing its job. And that's actually what is the message from 1 year production, right? The editor is helpful, right? It really helps, especially when they want to delete services. It deletes everything that is related, right? Because we don't have a relation database behind it. It's everything in the YAML. So the relations are hidden in the code. But mostly, when they are doing edits, they actually directly edit the YAML, right? So they go there, they copy and paste, modify a few lines, and then they run it through the pipeline. But because there is the validation, which is rather powerful, it's OK, right? There are no issues. On the right side, you can see it's CLI-based, right? So it's in CLI. That was the goal. That was what they are used to. So they just replaced EOS CLI with this one, and it's working fine. So it was 3 rebuilds. It's not really 3 rewrites, but 3 levels of understanding that got us where we are. The first one is that the fabric is easy, right? For building a fabric with tools we have, it's just like nothing complicated. It's done by the vendor, basically. What really is hard is to discover the services, the legacy services, and to create the model. The second thing is that service intent needs or may need its own abstraction. So the vendor can give you something, but your needs are unique. Your services requirements are unique. And for that, you need maybe another abstraction on top of it. And that can work with the vendor model. And the third one is source of truth. We know, everyone here knows that source of truth is like essential part of any automation effort. But it's not just about that. It's about the validation, which can be very, very helpful. And it's about all the workflow that allows the users to work safely and consistently with your network, with your infrastructure. And actually, that's also what we got another feedback. And the network engineers are CLI people. Still, we all are. But for the services in this project, the operations team changed their mindset, right? For the services, they think in SOT, right? So what is the lesson? Or rather, let me ask a question. Could we have got into the 3rd version of our solution on the first try? Not really. It requires a step-by-step approach. You have to learn and learn and learn. So there are no shortcuts. And that's GitOps the hard way. That's the essence of our project, and also the essence of our work. Thank you.